Hi everyone, I'm Lori Theriault from Work It, and I'm happy to be with you today recording podcast number 17. And today I have special guests joining me. We have Maria and Amaryllis, and they're going to talk to us about a school program that they enjoyed for the last few years in Manchester, Connecticut called La Mariposa. And it means butterfly. And I'm excited to have them as my guests. Today's podcast is sponsored by Work It, and you can find out more information about Work It and how your career can be positively impacted by visiting our website, workitcareers.com. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. We have Maria and Amaryllis. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Excited to have young women joining this podcast today. I had the honor to work with both of you ladies back in April and May, just preparing for this big event in Hartford. It was a big event.
Latinas in Power.
Latinas in Power. That was amazing. Amazing. So I am excited to hear more about your involvement with Latinas in Power, with your involvement in school with the Mariposa program. And I'm going to start with Maria first. So Maria, if you could give our audience just a little overview of, who you are and what the program, what an overall description of the program is.
Well, I would just start off by saying, so the literal translation of La Mariposa is the butterfly. Throughout the entire program, you start off as the caterpillar. Then you go through the ripening stage of the cocooning of it, and then you develop and you are able to be transformed into this beautiful butterfly. That's what we were able to go through. I feel like both me and Amaryllis throughout the entire program.
Okay.
We were able to start off throughout
I started freshman year and she started sophomore year.
Yeah, but we were both able to learn so much from it.
So you feel that you became the butterfly by the time you graduated. Now, both of you graduated high school, right?
Yes.
Okay, what high school is that?
We graduated from Great Path Academy, recent graduates.
Yeah.
So Manchester, Connecticut.
Yes.
Shout out to Manchester.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, Mariposa program actually started in Connecticut for the youth. For the youth.
Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing that you got to participate in something that, helped you develop further during your high school career.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to learn more. I'm intrigued, actually. So thank you, Maria.
Yeah.
All right. So Amaryllis, when did you hear about this exciting program and when did you join? What grade?
So I began the program my freshman year of high school. I actually knew nothing at all about the program, never heard it. It was something completely new to me. And it was this young lady, Destiny, that was in her senior year of high school. She was about to graduate. She had to perform the capstone project. And she wanted to do something that coordinated with her culture, where she was from. And it was being a Latina. And she wanted to be able to get some girls and be able to kind of help them to be able to be prepared for college and be prepared for the new life. And she picked us out. It was kind of funny, but she just looked at us. She watched us in the hallways, and she said she went to Ayla Lopez, which was the behavior technician of Great Path Academy, and she went to her and told her, "Hey, I want to do this program, and I want to do this. This is my goal, and I want these girls." She actually did not know any of us. She never spoke to us. She just watched us and saw how we acted in school. And they actually, I remember Lopez telling me this, they actually went through the system, the Power School system, through the pictures of every single girl who could possibly be. And she picked every girl by picture. She was like, that's the girl that I want. This is the girl that I want. And before you know it, we were in a room all together being told that we want to be part of this. They're going to put us into this capstone project. And we were all kind of like scared. We were all freshmen. We were like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And who knew that this was going to be so big for us? And it was impactful for us personally in the school. It was huge.
So how many girls were selected?
It was, oh my God, it was about, I want to say it was like 16 of us.
16.
Yes.
Now, this program is specifically designed for Latinas.
Yes.
So it's to help Latina girls, high school girls, to be able to live the best life they can, right?
Mhm.
So that's beautiful. So congratulations on being selected as the first group
Yeah,
ever.
veteran.
And it sounds like you graduated from it, so that's
Yeah.
beautiful. So I'm gonna switch over to your friend Maria and ask her when she joined, because we know you joined in freshman year, Amarilla.
Yes.
So when did you join, Maria?
I actually joined the second year of it, the sophomore year. I joined mostly because after seeing Destiny's presentation, because this is how it worked out. They joined and they completed the curriculum, and in the end, Destiny gave this sort of play and
Like
of
a
her life.
skit?
It was
Yeah, a
because
skit
she wanted. That's what
of
she
her
wanted
life.
to be.
Yeah, she wanted to share her past,
Mm-hmm.
present, and then share a message
Her
about
future.
what she wanted her future to be and how the curriculum helped her. And she wanted to make sure that others, the girls that she chose to be part of the first year,
Yeah.
were also going through the stage.
So
Going
she
through
was
that.
confident enough to do a skit after her first
Yeah.
year
Yes.
of being with Mariposa.
Because
Yes.
that's what she was going to college for. She wanted to be an actress and she wanted to do singing.
Mhm.
So that's what she did,
Yeah.
singing. Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
So it gave her an opportunity to take the stage and
Yeah.
confirm her path, really.
Mhm. That was
That's
her
beautiful.
future part. This is what I'm.
That's beautiful. Awesome. So you joined in your sophomore year.
Yes, I did.
And here we are. I think we're going to take our audience into what the next year kind of evolved for both of you. So we'll start with Amaryllis, because you've been in it just a little bit longer. And from what I understand, the curriculum remains the same year after year.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
explain that.
So the curriculum is really sessions. It's 12 sessions, and it's all like on different topics. It kind of, for each person individually, is kind of different. It hits you a little different because everyone goes through different things. But what we realized through the whole curriculum is that we all have different ways that life like kind of goes with us, but we all experience the same thing over the whole view of the picture. And every year, I was saying earlier that every year it was same curriculum, same exact curriculum. And
So what is that curriculum? What kinds of topics do they cover?
so we speak about the past, people that may be holding us back, and that was actually my favorite, like biggest one. We speak about culture. We speak about our tree, which is our family, deep in our roots, where we come from. We speak about what we can be, the power within us. We have kind of poems in there that is a specific poem. I forgot her name. I always forget her name. But it's about who I am. Like, I am this, I am that, and I'm gonna become this. It's really empowering to push you up. And like I was saying, it was a thing where every year is the same, and I was like, oh my god, I'm going into this next year because I was there the first year and it was amazing. And then the next year I was like, okay, it's the same curriculum. Like, what am I gonna learn? Like, I already know this. I have nothing to learn. I was completely wrong, like 1000% wrong. I took the curriculum, I viewed it a different way. It's almost like when you watch a movie that you watch it the first time and you just see certain things, and then you watch it again, and for some reason you see more things. Like, you start seeing different parts of it, and you start analyzing it more, and you realize that, oh, I'm learning more from it. And that's why I don't want people to like kind of be scared that, oh, we have the same curriculum over and over again. No, you will most definitely learn something new every year.
Sure. It tests out your listening skills. So, when you go to a class, you might pick and retain one thing that you learned in that 45 minutes. And if you were to take that class again, you might pick up another thing. So I think that's a good point you're making. So that was year number 2, taking the risk and going into the same curriculum. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
But it didn't turn out that way, which is great. And obviously there was new faces in the room too. So when you bring new faces, you're learning about personalities in that room.
Yeah, one of the new faces.
And this is where Maria comes in and joins.
It's actually kind of beautiful, the new faces, when you see them and you see them like realizing things that you're like, yeah, that was me. Like, that was what I was going through when I realized. And it's just beautiful to see like the change in them as like you're changing yourself as well.
It's actually really nice because I feel like it was a learning experience, not just for you guys for the first years, but also for the second years, because at least personally, at least me being the second year, I remember I felt as if the ones from the first year were very unified. They had their own personal understandings of the curriculum, and they wanted all for their own thoughts and ideas about it to be voiced, so that we, from the second years at least, get the different understandings, different perspectives of every single one of them. And I think that was
like thanks to
that hit
Destiny,
home.
we got that. We
Yeah.
got that unified. We set that the stage of like this is what it is and this is what it's gonna stay as. So when the new people come in, they see that this is what we're doing and
Yeah.
this is what we expect from you as well.
Mhm.
And it's in a way comforting because it's like I don't people don't like to speak about like their own feelings, how they feel inside. They feel like that, but when you come into a room and you see that this is normal for everyone
Yeah.
in here.
It's
This
already
is
set.
a spot that this is what you're gonna do. You feel instantly comfortable. You're like, I want to be here. I want to do this. But that's only for the people that are ready for
Are
it.
ready. Yeah, you're bringing
Yeah.
up a good point. Not every student is ready for developing themselves, and it may take an extra year for them to be emotionally ready, maturity ready.
Yeah.
So what you're talking about is a program that's very social emotional.
Mhm.
And I know the state of Connecticut is really trying hard to bring some social emotional skill training to the schools.
Yes.
And from what I understand, your program, even though you're graduated and you won't be able to go back into it, it's ended at your graduation, unfortunately.
Yes.
So,
Yes, unfortunately.
so we want to definitely put a shout out to Great Path Academy to really take a second look at this program, because I think you have an opportunity to impact a lot of Latinas in your community in a very positive way. So definitely a shout out to Ada Lopez, who has devoted a lot of her time to the program over the years, and we want to make sure that everyone has an experience, not only in Manchester area but all throughout the state and even the country, because you two girls are powerhouses, and let's get this word out so that people understand the potential of this unique program. It's in correct me if I'm wrong, it was an after school program.
Yes.
It began the first year began within the school. We would do it during our capstone time, and then we moved it to the after school so we can have more time to be able to analyze things a little bit more by detail.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So an hour after school once a week?
It was 2 hours.
Yeah,
yes.
Sometimes actually we stayed later. I remember for Brenda's year.
Yeah.
So maybe 7 at night, just because we were doing this big presentation.
So like towards every year we had every girl we would do the curriculum, we would go through our hours, and then you kind of knew that towards the end of the year when the presentation was due, we would stay longer because we had to prepare for that.
And you were excited.
Yes, and it was so funny, I think, for me, just because you could see every single one of the girls wanted to invest all of their time into the program. They wanted to stay. Most girls really wanted to stay later.
They didn't care. They were like, do I need to text someone? Do I need to do like
do I need to find a ride?
Yeah.
Like, I'll do it right now. They would like carpool. We did everything together. And it was, I mean,
that's teaching problem solving skills, isn't it? Because as you are getting ready to be employed, and you both are, but if you don't have a ride to work, or you have to problem solve that because your job is in jeopardy. So I think you bring up a really good point that when you've got a presentation and you're excited to deliver the message, you find a way to get together and finish the project. So I think that's great life skills. So Amaryllis, now you're in year number 3, so you're junior year at this point where I'm taking people on your journey. So again, the same curriculum, the third time in a row. How are you feeling?
I was ready because the second year around, I was like, I was wrong. I'm not gonna judge it again. Like, I'm not gonna do that. What am I gonna learn this year? So now I'm just curious. Like what's gonna happen this year? What's going on that I don't know yet? And I'm gonna figure it out through this program. And right enough, that was exactly what it was. I learned so much more. Like that third year, I remember it was a really hard year. It was my junior year, and I was like, it was the hardest year for me for high school. And the program was kind of my like safe house, I want to say, my comfortable place, because at home I was like stressing out, and then at school I'm stressing out. So like, where's my space to be able to be calm, be at peace, be okay? And that was by Mariposa. That's where I was at. So the third year, I would say that I learned here and there. They weren't as impactful as it was the other years, but it was a really safe home for me. That's what that year did for me. It was the comfort place that I needed. And I feel like that was like, it was perfect. It was perfect timing.
I feel like we all were able to receive that, you know what I mean? Throughout the program, that's one of the things that they really want us to feel, that we're all comfortable there, that we want to, that they know that all the students involved, that their voices are being heard, that they can speak out if they want to say something, and anything that they feel like they should say or get off their chest, that they are open and free to do that. So I feel like that,
Yeah.
having
Unfortunately,
knowing that that was a message that was received.
Yeah.
I think that's comforting.
Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned that originally it started with 16 students that
Mhm.
were selected. By the time you graduated, was there still about 16 students in the program?
It was okay. So it was kind of it's funny, but there's sometimes I think the third year there was less girls. There was
Yeah.
people that weren't ready, so they ended up leaving the but that was perfectly fine because we mentioned that it's you have to be ready. We're not gonna force you into something that you don't want to be in. So there were some girls that would leave, and then also that third year was it was like all over the place because there was that was when the group ended inside of the school. That's when it was kind of like shut down. Like, you can't do this. So it was hard for us to get together. It was hard for us to be able to keep following everything, be on route, and do everything. That's why we ended up, that was our first year going into the Latinas in Power.
Okay.
And being able to go and take it out of the school because we have our wonderful mentor, Aida Lopez, that she figured any solution that we couldn't figure out ourselves. She was like, no, we got this. She was just, at that point, it was like we ran the program, and whatever details that we couldn't fix, things that we were like, oh my God, like, what are we going to do now? She fixed it. She just came out. She's like, okay, I got you, and now do what you have to do.
Is that wonderful to have a mentor like that?
Yeah.
A teacher who doesn't take no for an answer.
Yes.
And I think that's a life lesson that every student in America should learn is when you believe in something so strongly and it's for the good of people, that you find a way around an obstacle. And I'm going to go to Maria now because I want her to tell us about this Latinas in Power. What is Latinas in Power, and how has it changed your lives?
Well, Latinas in Power, it's the symposium. So Marilyn Theriault, she actually hosts it. She's been running it, I think, for now 15 years.
It's the 15.
Yeah.
So she created Latinas in Power, right?
Yes.
It's a beautiful, it's a event that happens yearly. So basically, it's a place where you can come to workshops as well with little vendors places and
so
networking.
Spanish women,
Yes.
Hispanic women,
like you said, powerhouses.
They all come together for this one day, and we were able to come for the quinceañera.
Yeah.
We had gone previously before, and we sort of attended it just as a school, but for the 15 year, we were able to present there. Actually, my sister, she was actually
the one that started that.
So she was able to lead it that year, and we were able to bring out the curriculum from Mariposa to other students from different schools, other Latinas.
So like in a workshop format?
Yes.
Okay, so schools were invited to Latinas in Power, bringing identified Latina girls from around the state, right? And they got to listen to.
We were able to do little like snippets of the curriculum. We focused on the poem parts that we mentioned in the beginning, the tree, where we were able to sort of.
We wanted to bring the experience that we had personally within the school. We wanted to bring it there. It was like a 12-week thing. We wanted to bring it into like an hour of just give you that feeling and let you work with that.
Yeah, and I think we were able to do that. We did that. We were
that year
really
was very successful. Yeah,
and I know that after that year, a lot of the guidance counselors and the adults that came along with the trip, they actually reached out to us.
Yes,
and they wanted to all into the school. Yeah,
but they realized it was out of the school, and it was kind of like you know what, we got out and now we're here, like we're in a much bigger place. So it was almost like it was meant to be. Like that was what was supposed to happen.
So it created a better audience for you, a bigger audience,
the perfect audience needed.
Yes. Well, congratulations on finding the right mentor in your life that didn't accept no for an answer, connected with the right people. And Marilyn Alverio is a wonderful woman to connect with because she also does not accept no for an answer, and she's made from, the same molds as your mentor, Ada Lopez. So I got to meet you in year number 4.
Yes.
So you're number 4. Here you are, both seniors in high school, and I got to work with both of you so that you could probably really send the message home this year, being your final year of high school, to really make sure that there's a fighting chance for this program that's so successful to be introduced to other schools. So here we are today in May. So I know it's July right now, but in May I get to meet you, work with you, understand your personalities and where your strengths are, and eventually you get put on stage. So who's handling number four? Maria's handling year number four. So
Yes.
here you are both having the opportunity to get onto the big stage of panel. How did that feel?
Well, first I'd like to start off by thanking Marilyn for that opportunity, because we discussed it sort of the year before about that. It's just, it was sort of like a dream that we all had, saying we wanted to be on that stage and we wanted to share our message. And our year, we were able to do that. And I remember the response that we got from the audience was just so motivational.
Yeah.
We walked away from
Audience
that
were-
stage and we felt so so heard.
Yeah.
I think that's the best
It
way
was
to
what we
explain it.
needed.
Yeah. We were able to talk about what La Mariposa was, and we were able to see the response that we got from the adults in our community. And we were to see that they were so receptive to it, that they were open to the idea of sharing this message as well. And I think we needed that support.
It was comforting to
because-
feel like there are people out there
Yeah.
in this world, in our community, that are thinking the same thing as us.
They're hearing us, and they
Yeah.
want us to know that we're being heard, and they want to help us out. And I feel like that, walking away with that knowledge, I think that's what helped us out to come here today.
To even think that, because we were already thinking like, oh, this is our last year. This is when it's done. It's gonna be done now. And it just gave us the energy to think that, maybe it's not done.
Yeah.
Like, maybe
We
we're
still have
just
that
gonna
fighting
keep
chance.
going for more years.
Sure.
And we have the time now.
Yeah. Well, certainly I saw the success in all of the students, especially you two. So I'm a fan of the program for sure. And I think, the energy that you have just naturally with your natural skills is going to keep the fire alive to be able to get this installed in, whether it's during the normal school day for schools or an after school program. It needs to have some positive impacts on a lot of student lives in the United States. So I'm definitely one of your biggest fans, and I know that Mrs. Lopez and Marilyn Alberio they're definitely cheering you both on. So to kind of close out our discussion today, because I'm sure I'm going to have you on again at some point in the future, let's see if we can get you to give some advice to guidance counselors, advice to board of education members and administration in all the schools across America. Maybe we'll start with Amaryllis first. What advice would you give so that they hear your message about a powerful program that can positively impact their community?
I think that the biggest advice I wanted to give to not only the school system, the people in the Board of Education, and parents and everyone that has their kids that are in a system right now is be the person to inspire. Try to inspire your kid's life. Try to inspire the people if you're working at the Board of Education or in a school system. Inspire the student. Make sure that your job is not just to, I need to educate you on this and you have a curriculum and we need to teach you English, math. Like, it's not just that. Like, be the person that they feel inspired by. And as long as you make that your job, one of your goals, you would do so great. Like, it's just, we need that. Like, as someone that was in a system, in the school system, and we just finished high school, we want to feel inspired, because right now, going through the summer of our last summer and now we're going into the real world, is like, that's what I needed. If I didn't get that inspiration from Ida, from you, Lori, that inspiration that I needed, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. Like, I would be confused. I would be like, what's going on? Where am I going? And I know that I'm not the only one saying that I just graduated and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I know that I have a goal. I know that I have this, and I got that because I was inspired. My teachers inspired me. And if everyone, not everyone in the system right now gets that inspiration, gets what they need. And I just want that to be something that every teacher knows, every person in the Board of Education strives for, and parents at home.
And before we switch over to Maria for final advice, is from what I understand, this is 24 hours of somebody's time, a mentor's time,
Mm-hmm.
with up to 16 students. 24 hours. Imagine what 24 hours can do to help a human being, whether it's Latinas or anybody else. There's a lot of programs out there, but 24 hours of your time as an adult inspiring students to be able to go to their future. So it's not a lot of time, folks. It's not a lot of time.
Mm-mm.
So, we want to definitely let administrators know that we're going to keep it simple. This is very minimal amount of time that has such an impact.
Mm-hmm.
So, Maria?
I think I'm gonna bounce off of my listener,
Uh-huh.
and I'm gonna say my advice would be to maintain the fire. When you're coming into the educational system, I think you come in and you have this idea of what you want. You want to continue, you want to fight, and you want to, that you want to educate the students or those around you, like Emrys was saying, and you want to help them out. And I think throughout the way you meet the kids sometimes, as we were saying, aren't ready, and that sort of diminishes you a little bit. But I think you should continue on, meet the kids that that you see are ready for it, that you can help out, that you can build up, and maintain that, because there are kids out there that really need that help, and you can be the voice, and you can be the one that maintains the fire.
Yeah. So we need people out there that are listening to this podcast that also don't take no for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
And so to be able to continue the push of putting some social emotional training in the school systems, Mariposa is a beautiful example of positive results. You both are just graduating high school. You have more maturity than some adults that I work with in life or have worked with. And I commend you for being great leaders in your community. And, this is about inspiring and keeping your culture alive, as well as inspiring people that are not in your culture. It's just human beings. Everybody needs to develop and prosper in different ways. And the sooner we do it, the better, so that their high school experience is much more positive. You mentioned junior high was a little bit stressful for you because it's a critical year. It's when colleges take a look at your grades. It's when this you're scared of, where do I go next. There's a little bit more pressure put on juniors and seniors especially. So thank God you got through that. And thank God for mentors such as Mrs. Lopez, Ada Lopez, and also Marilyn Alvario, who heard the cry and said,
Put their hands out there and said, "Come on, let's go."
Absolutely. Let's get this positive message out. So I am thankful that both of you took the time to talk with me today, and we'll certainly be sharing this podcast with the right audience so that they hear you. And thank you both.
Thank you
thank
too,
you.
for giving me this
This
chance
is exciting,
to speak on here.
Well, I'm excited to have you back again sometime in the future to kind of talk about how the progress is going. And look forward to working with both of you.
Yes.
Look forward to it too.
Thank you very much.